right, hey everyone. So next we are going over the jazz dance steps. So depending on what your space is that you have to work in, some of these might require you to mark it through, might require some subtle shifts of how you are distributing your weight on your feet, and I'll talk about those. You'll notice that I've shifted from being in sneakers on carpet to socks on a smoother floor. So see what works for you, and I'll talk about them as we go, okay? So starting first with a ball change. We've done this before in our tap, right? Hands can be wherever is comfortable for you. So a ball change is a weight shift, yeah? We're adding a little step in here for now, just so that we can alternate. We'll talk about what that is when we get there. So this is a ball change, shifting your weight from one foot to the other, back foot to your front foot. And the heels are staying off the ground. That is the ball change. So you're staying on the ball of your foot, yes? Now let's start to shift that a little bit. So we still have that weight shift happening, and that step, now it's going to become a pas de bourrée. We go back, we go side, we go front. We go back, side, front. Back, side, front. Back, side, front. Now, depending on the space, you might need to manipulate this a little bit. So I think about the back, side, front in relationship to my pelvis. Yeah, so I'm stepping back, I'm stepping to the direct side of it, then I'm stepping in front of it. Yes? So I'm stepping behind my pelvis, out to the side of it, and then forward. And there's a little bend happening too. Yes? So we got our back, side, front, and arms can come in and out with this, all sorts of variations. Go ahead and play with it as you play with all of these. Maybe the arms go up and down. Maybe there's like a little bit of a swim happening. All right, maybe you make something else up on your own. Up to you, okay? That's your pas de bourrée. Now let's take that ball change and add a little foot chase into it. So it goes step together, step, one foot chasing the other, little sachet. Ball change, step together, step. Back, front, step together, step. Go back, front, step together, step. Arms can look like that pas de bourrée with the up and down or in and out. You can also add a little extra sass in here because it is jazz, so bring that little attitude. Maybe there's a little more hip movement, a little more torso movement. You get a little more of that Latin flavor in there. Here it is, sachet, okay? Continue to play with that, and we can also isolate that sachet. So any foot chase, it can also come forward, forward. You can take it back and back. It changes the style a little bit. All right, see what feels fun and enjoyable for you. Next, passe. I feel like we've talked about these before in class. They're coming up, toes connecting to your knee. So sideways, it looks like this, yeah? And that's in a parallel versus your external rotation. Passe here, okay? And you can alternate going one side to the other. You can also take it up onto a releve, right? So that releve to rise up on the balls of the foot, one side to the other, and march around like this. You can add a little bit of attitude, a little sass in there as well. Maybe you cross it over, anything that feels fun. Jazz square, next. So imagine there's a square on the ground. You step to the front corner, then the other corner, you step back and back. I almost have a square here. So see if we can line it up a little bit more with the square, yeah? There's a corner here, you can't see it in the video. But I'm going to step to that corner, I'm crossing it over to this other corner, then to that corner and back. Maybe step, cross, step, step, go step, cross, step, step. And again, arms can take a lot of different variations here. You can choose how big the steps are. Play with it here as well. Let's try the other side. Step, cross, back, back, and step. Cross, back, back. Foot pattern is just like walking. All right, one foot goes down, you shift your weight to go onto the other foot. All right, one more. Step, cross, back, and back. Next, jazz walk. So we tried these across the room. You can have whatever kind of pathway that you want. Typically, there's some kind of crossing, really like traveling with it. I can only travel so much in my space. And so using whatever space confinement limitations you have, working within that. Maybe it's more of a walking in place. Yeah? All right, here comes some turns. So depending on the floor that you're on, this might need to really be adjusted. Let's start with a pivot turn. That's a nice one to play with that adjustment in. So stepping forward with the right foot, then turn to your left. Stepping forward with the right foot, turn to your left. If you are on a smoother floor, this pivot is probably allowing the feet to stay connected the whole time and smoothly transition from one direction to the other. If you're on more of a carpeted floor, there's a little more friction between your feet and the floor, it's going to be more of a step, and then you step back. Step and step. So you might have to pick your feet up a little bit more. Let's try it on the left side. I'll face sideways so you can see some variations in my footwork. So you step forward, you pivot, step. My feet are staying connected here and sliding versus stepping onto it and stepping back, stepping onto it, stepping back. Also a very similar pattern to walking, right? Especially if you need to pick your feet up. So you go left and right, left and right. Cool? That's your pivot turn. Take a moment to center yourself, focus on something so that if the room's spinning, you can bring it back to center, okay? Next, we have some pirouettes. I know we worked on these for a while, so let's just review briefly how to build up to them, and then the video will end and you can continue to work on these, all right? So we will take a tendu out to the side, a pointing of the foot out to the side, and then we will come back into a plie and forth, all right? This is where our springing, our energy is coming from, the spiraling into a turn. Let's just take it as a piqué right now. So you come up and then down, yeah? So you point, prep, up and down. You point and prep and up and down, yeah? Point, prep, up and down. And with this, in the choreography that we're going to do, we'll do a parallel pirouette. When we get into ballet, we'll do one externally rotated. You are welcome to try either of them here, okay? So point to prep. Now just take a half turn. So make your way to face away from the video. And then go again, yeah? You point, you prep, half turn, and in. So that energy is coming from this prepping, this springing up that we're getting, also from bringing this arm in. That's going to help. And then we'll talk about spotting in a second. So point to the side, prep, and turn, and reset. Point, prep, turn, reset. So now spotting. Looking at something very specifically, whipping your head around and looking at it again. A way to not get dizzy, also a way to get that spiral going in the center of our bodies so that we're able to turn ourselves about, okay? So you point, you prep, big turn, and down, yeah? Point, prep, turn, and down. Again, point, prep, turn, and down. Last one, prep, turn, and down, all right? So you can try that on the other side, start pointing with the left, build yourself up with it again, and then you can practice going through these on your own. Maybe make your own dance out of it. All right, see what you enjoy, find some music that you want to put on, and I'll see you in the next video.